Elderly couple in church. The wife leans over and says, "I just silently farted. What should I do?" The husband says, "You better put a new battery in your hearing aid." Stirring the coffee with chopsticks using the vortex method, the only true way to optimize the taste of your coffee. At the molecular level. Good morning. Welcome to the Daybreak Show. We'll get started, but first, Sumatra coffee made cowboy coffee style with a little bit of cream. Nice.
My God, that is the best coffee I ever tasted.
I am absolutely convinced that as men age, every single one ends up looking like the old man Muppets. And I'm also convinced that as all women age, they all end up looking like Jigsaw. Enjoy your Botox, your puffy lips, your filler and chemical peels while you can, because everybody ends up ugly. Everybody. Well, this is pretty interesting. Rachel Wilson says, "I would just like to point out that many of the saints of the church who were former prostitutes did not marry or even seek marriage. Most became monastics. And this is probably best for people with extremely promiscuous backgrounds." I 100% get that. I 100% get that. Saint Mary of Egypt was a 4th century prostitute and sex addict who converted to Orthodox Christianity and became a highly venerated saint. She did not marry or even seek marriage. She became a hermit and an ascetic. This would be an ideal path for someone with a background like this, in my opinion, Rachel Wilson says. One fellow replies, he says, 5 or more men that enter into a woman, and she's only fit for prostitution or monasticism. This is originally what the church teaches. Even the pagans knew about the number 5. The church used to support brothels. Well, that's interesting. 4 is okay. 5 or more men, and then she's in trouble. I get it now. All right. I see what's going on here. So how many eggplants in the mouth is too many? 4? 20? 30? How many is too many? What do you think? Put your number down below. Yeah, I'm not crazy this whole, I don't know, tradcon movement kind of thing. The reality is this. It's like Carfax. You can get body work done on a car, on a high mileage car, but that doesn't make the mileage any lower, and it does not negate the fact that the car was in a wreck. I've heard some people say that there should be this kind of thing for people. Some people have joked around and called it Hofax. I thought this was funny. It was a great picture. Funny how people that want war never end up fighting it. A lot of guys in suits telling your sons and brothers and fathers to die. All over the world, this is happening. Right now, today, it's happening. They're scooping young men off the street in Ukraine and putting them on the front line, and they last about 72 hours before they get slaughtered. Good job, NATO. Good job, leaders. Good job. United States sending other people's sons, brothers, and fathers to die. You know, there's the guys that say Chinese scooters and motorcycles are nothing but junk. Same guy says, I just got a Honda. I prefer Honda. Well, guess what? Honda outsources so much of their manufacturing to, guess what? China. Do you ever notice that old rock and roll guys, if they don't cut their hair, they end up looking like an old woman as the facial features soften and the wrinkles go deeper and the hair is long, and especially if it's turning gray, they look exactly like a grandma. It's weird looking at Bon Jovi like this. It's just very odd. Global warming. And then it turned to climate change. And you and me living a catastrophe-based life. If you don't do A, and then B is going to happen. You got to do A, and if you don't do it, B is going to happen. But think about this. B is always very extreme. A is always caused by humans, something to do with the government, a new industry being created out of thin air, and a few getting disgustingly rich. Get common people to believe it, get them to shame those that don't, and eventually get lawmakers to propose it. I say it's all BS, like when I read a dating profile and a woman, I'll never forget this as long as I live. A woman says, "I'm doing my best to minimize my carbon footprint." What she's really trying to say is this: I'm a big pain in the ass. Any woman that says, "Stay home and save lives," big pain in the ass. Any woman that says, "I got my vaccine," big pain in the ass. Yeah, remember back in the 80s with the ozone layer from aerosol spray cans, like those that were using hairspray, and before there was a lot of pump bottles out, there was actually like compressed air cans. Like Windex did not come in a spray bottle. It came in a can, like a tall can, kind of like the scrubbing bubbles, like that kind of thing. The tall, however many ounces that is. And you'd spray the Windex on with the aerosol can. Well, that aerosol was going to do away with our ozone layer, which meant that we were all going to burn up because of the sun. That was about 40 years ago. Nothing has burnt up. And a lot of people made money. If you don't do A, then B. Quick reminder to stay away from diet soda and salads. You know why? Seems like only fat people eat them. It's funny. Some of the funniest and most edgy memes that I post are sent to me by women. This one shows two Victorian women riding bicycles. One says, "I've never come this way before." The other replies, "It's the cobblestones." That right over a few heads. How about this place down in Key West? They sell coffee and paddleboard rentals, but it's on the same sign, and it looks like coffee rentals. Yeah, you can rent some coffee, just have it back by 5 p.m. You know what the definition of a secret is, right? Something you only tell one person at a time. Well, it looks like France has sent or is sending thousands of troops to Ukraine. I guess Macron needs a distraction right now. I wonder what for. This was pretty interesting. Both pigs were raised under identical free-range conditions. The right was supplemented with grain, corn, and soy-based feed, and the left was left to forage naturally. Pretty much shows the benefits of grass-fed and finished and not grain-fed meat. It also should give you some indication of what grain and soy and corn does to our bodies. Thank the Lord for meat. Women with male friends. Probably not a good idea. Yeah, I know you're paranoid. You're a jealous boyfriend or a jealous husband because she has male friends, right? Here's an interesting story. My ex-fiancée was a beautiful, intelligent, educated woman, has a great personality. I know for a fact that her male friends want to get with her. So how can I not be concerned, he says, but if I was to express the concerns, I'm automatically showing red flags when we all know what these men want. Well, my fears and insecurities came true. At our weakest moments of our relationship, her coworker moved in. And now she's in a relationship with him. And yes, I was the one that was insecure because I should have trusted her. Men, do not allow your partner to have male friends. There's only one reason why they are friends, because they are waiting to swoop in her weakest moment, and in our weakest relationship moments. They are just waiting for the opportunity. She has male friends. That can be a problem. 9 times out of 10, those male friends already went there. Ask me how I know. Let me ask you a question. Can you look at a couple and predict if they're going to make it or not? Especially like social media couples. Can you look at them? Look at what each other posts. Look at the pictures of them. Most of the time, you and me can see their fatal flaws, but they have blind spots and they can't see those flaws. But if you were to say anything, you are the bad guy, aren't you? You can't win either way. I had one friend that went through a pretty rough divorce many years ago, and he said to me, "Why didn't you say something?" I said, "Because you never would have taken my advice." I learned the hard way. When I criticized someone's wife or girlfriend, it always came back to bite me, even if they ended up getting divorced somehow, some way. So the best thing you can say to your friends is, "I'm here if you need me. I'm here if you need to talk." That's it. Giving unsolicited advice or opinions about someone's girlfriend or wife just is not a good thing to do. Car makers can clearly tell you what makes this year's model better than last year's model. So career-wise, how is the 2024 model of you different and better performing than the 2023 model? How are you better this year than you were last year? So you are wounded and recovering from something? Who isn't? It's time to move on. Many years ago, I said this, that if you stop creating, then you love your past more than you love your future. This is why creation is king. Building something. You've heard me say this for years now. Build something that's going to outlive you. And if you are a couple, build something that's going to outlive you both. You might be married to a woman, but the first thing you need to be married to is your mission. Be married to the mission. And remember, she is not your mission. She joins you on the voyage. She joins you on your mission, but she is not the mission. I was at an event last night, and I introduced Margot to Joey Merlino. Well, that was interesting. That was a first for her to hang with a new set of friends. And her response was, it was a good experience. Everybody was a gentleman. And that is true. You must marry your mission until you reach your goal. You will lose momentum if you don't. What about a woman? Like I said before, she must support you in your mission, especially if she will benefit from the fruits of that mission. Sir, if you have to buy a tungsten wedding band on Amazon and wear it, then do it, because you are married to your mission. You need to become successful, independent, before you become a couple. This is obviously for the single guys. A 60-year-old billionaire came to a party with his gorgeous 30-year-old wife. A friend says, "How did she marry you?" He replies, "I lied about my age." A friend said, "You said you were 45? He says, "No, I told her I was 90. A teacher asked little Johnny what kind of wife he wants someday. He replied, "He wants a wife like the moon." The teacher replied, "You mean because the moon is beautiful and calm?" Little Johnny said, "No, I want her to arrive at night and disappear in the morning." I hope you are enjoying the new podcast called Fire Your Boss. It's a collaboration between Frank Garin, Dan Jonesy Jones, and myself, and they are part of the monthly mastermind group that I attend. And there is a conference, an entrepreneurial conference, coming up at the end of April. And if you would like to go to it, and it's affordable for you, but the people you will meet will blow your mind. If you go to Create Impact Now, you can get tickets to this 3-day conference. I think it's for under $200, if I'm not mistaken. And that is a deal. And the relationships and connections that you will make during a conference weekend can change your life. Before you marry her, ask yourself, what did she do to improve your life? Would she follow you around the world, no questions asked? Is she willing to drop everything and run away with you if it's needed? Would she stay with you even if you lose everything? If a richer man came into her world somehow, some way, would she leave you for him? Answers to that will tell you if she's worth marrying. You know, the nicest people in the world have the darkest secrets, and when you get older, you don't really care, because everybody's got shit. Everybody. And if you are concerning yourself with other people's shit and other people's skeletons, man, you got some work to do. You need a life. Like one marketing friend of mine says, if you got skeletons in them closets, make them dance. Make them skeletons dance. I thought that was pretty funny. Rich Cooper says, in the not-so-distant past, she was wife material if she was a virgin, tattoo-free, had a good family, feminine, under 25 years old, religious, had homemaking skills, she was agreeable, can cook or clean, and wanted your children. Most brides today are none of those things. Tell a woman that she's beautiful, and 2 days later, she'll start making trouble out of the blue. They will make trouble out of nothing at all. Remember, there was that band called Air Supply. I think it was called Making Love Out of Nothing at All. This is making trouble out of nothing at all. And you'll think, where the hell did that come from? Because you are a romantic, and you told her that she's the most beautiful woman in the world. You set yourself up, bro. Don't make me say it again. Remember when people would pay to see the fat lady in circuses and sideshows? Now all you got to do is walk down any street, beach, or watch a panel show on YouTube, or go through Instagram, and it's all free. Imagine that. We are so lucky now. We don't have to pay to see fat women. If you don't have the ability to tell people to go fuck themselves and not care what they say or think of you, then you don't have true freedom and anti-fragility. You are just a cog in the machine, an NPC wandering through life, a normie. Work yourself into a position where you can tell people, you might not use that particular set of words, but work yourself into a position where you can do this, and trust me, you will thank me later. Not giving a damn what other people think. I'm not saying to be an inconsiderate prick. What I am saying, stop giving a damn about what other people think. Be married to your mission and thank me later. Don't ever bring a whore around, I tell my friends, because I'll fall in love with her. I need a good woman. I need a good woman more than I need this typewriter, more than I need my automobile, more than I need Mozart. I need a God woman so badly that I can taste her in the air. I can feel her at my fingertips. I can see the sidewalks built for her feet to walk upon. I can see pillows for her head. I can feel my waiting laughter. I can see her petting a cat. I can see her sleeping. I can see her slippers on the floor. I know that she exists. But where is she upon this earth, as the horrors keep finding me? Charles Bukowski. Quiet, clean girls in gingham dresses.